Hey gang, welcome to the first episode of the Ramblecast. We are the US portion of Ramblecast, so that means that the original site's based in the UK, and we're coming at you from across the pond. This week we'll be talking about the recent launch of the PlayStation 4. I'm your host, Devin, and I'm joined by my friends Adam.
Hello from the East Coast.
And Steven.
Greetings. That's all I got.
Alright, that's fine.
All right.
Yeah, so it's our first podcast. We're kind of giving this a shot, seeing what feels good, and hopefully giving that another shot next time.
Assuming this doesn't bomb horribly, you mean?
Yeah, we'll see. This could be fun.
Hooray!
This could be terrible. I don't
Terribly
know.
fun.
I like that. We need that kind of confidence on the team. That's why you're here.
I do what I do.
Precisely. So, I don't know about you. We're getting closer and closer to the release date for the console that I want. I'm grabbing the Xbox One. But that also means that I've been trying to do some work on my previous backlog of games. What have you guys been playing? I was doing decent, and then Pokemon came out, and then my backlog just stopped moving.
It'll kill you every time.
Every time.
And I'm not saying this because I put like 90 hours into Pokemon over like 1 week.
Am I the only one, guys, that's been currently playing games? God.
Yeah.
What, Pokemon doesn't count as a game?
Not on the Xbox, it doesn't.
Touche.
Well, I mean, see.
I guess to be fair, I'm only one step ahead of you guys.
I don't know if I'd say that.
I've been playing arcade games.
Ooh. That's like baby steps ahead of us.
Like
Baby
what?
steps.
Like Xbox arcade games?
Yeah,
Or-
I've been in the Xbox arcade.
Okay, what have you played?
Well, on top of the Minecraft, which should be mentioned, Devin outsold One Direction this year.
And
It was like a book that outsold
Yeah.
One Direction or
it was
something like that?
it outsold a One Direction tome, which I'm okay with. I really like Minecraft, and I eagerly await the Skyrim texture pack that's coming out.
Oh, also, I just blanked on what I was about to say.
Good job.
Joke.
I know.
But
Entire podcast is foobar.
Well,
Right.
let's see. So
Good night,
there,
everybody.
there was some cool Minecraft news that came out. So, Adam, you'll appreciate this.
Oh, yeah.
Will.
They're looking at the team that's behind the 360 version of Minecraft, which is, I believe, 4J Studios. They're trying to figure out a way to port your Xbox 360 Minecraft like world into the Xbox One.
Yeah,
Which-
see, that would make the most sense.
Yeah, well, it's a bigger world, and I imagine they'll probably have a more recent update involved as well. So it's not the easiest thing, and how you get it there, and all that. But on the other hand, given that we've got that one Minecraft world that we've been playing for like a year and a half now, that would be fantastic.
I agree.
So-
But the Xbox Arcade has been more than just Minecraft, which has been nice. For all of you racing fans, or throwback racing fans, I suppose, there's Joyride, which reminds me of the old Mario Kart, or even older, if I want to age myself, the Crash Team Racing from PlayStation. The crazy, I guess, chaos of racing with missiles flying all around.
I have no problems with this.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
I thought
cool.
that was how racing actually worked.
It-
I've never
I-
watched NASCAR or anything like that, but I'm just assuming that they just have rocket launchers and shells and crap like that goes around the track.
I
Brings
mean,
the
I gotta
spectators.
assume America's #1 spectator sport has to have explosions.
Mhm.
You would assume so.
We have to. For any pirate fans, Age of Booty. Yeah, I know, right? Solid name with a solid game. It's
What type of game is that?
well, you control your ship, and it's sort of resource based. You have to actually ransack towns for them to create resources for you to upgrade your ship, and the one who takes over all the towns wins the game.
Sounds reasonable.
It's pretty simple. Good way to spend 30 to 45 minutes if that's all you have. Fast paced, definitely. And a lot of teamwork involved if you start playing with some teammates,
Good to know.
right? And then on top of that, I've been playing on my Windows phone to continue my arcade. I've been playing Six Guns just recently.
Oh, I saw that came out.
It's pretty good. It's pretty fun shooter for your Windows phone. The movement's pretty well for me having not.
Is
the
it
most
have the
up-to-date.
like the dual touchpad joystick?
It does.
I
yes.
hate that scheme so much.
Well, yeah. I mean, how else are you gonna do a shooter on your phone? Let's be real.
So there is no better way that I've been able to come up with. However, I hate it nonetheless.
Then love to hate it. Love to hate it. You know what? I like getting gamer score from my phone. On the road.
You know, that's true. I did spend a lot of summer playing Halo Spartan Assault.
Right?
Which was actually quite fantastic.
You know, is that coming?
Yeah, that is coming on to Xbox One and Xbox 360 Arcade as well, with new guns, new achievements. I want to say they even got some co-op in there too.
Nice.
So I can buy it on a third platform. Maybe I don't know.
Oh man, they're just taking all of Steven's money.
Yeah. Well, what else is new?
The hive mind is rich, though, right?
Yes.
Always.
They pool their money together.
Oh, largely, and hopefully in the future we can get the rest of the hive mind.
Right.
And
the
on
other
podcast.
Stevens.
We'll soon be outnumbered, Devin.
Oh god,
All right.
what else is new?
So Devin, what have you been playing?
Besides Pokemon, the last game that I got was Saints Row the 4th.
That came out a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
He did
but
say backlog.
I've been enjoying the crap out of it though. I have to run the risk of saying it, but as awesome as GTA 5 looks, just that level of realism isn't as enticing to me when it's kind of set in a modern era. So like when the fastest, way to get around town is to drive down the street and then take a right and then you're there, it's not nearly as enticing to me as, I don't know, running up a skyscraper and then just kind of gliding over the rest of it and just landing on the ground.
You mean like Crackdown?
Crackdown is pretty great.
Crackdown did it right.
Moment of silence for the game that was Crackdown 2.
Yeah, but at least Phil Spencer
that wasn't a game, though. That wasn't, right? That was just a pile of vomit.
We'll see what happens with the next one. Phil Spencer said not to count.
Is there
out
a third
the franchise.
one?
He said don't count out Crackdown.
Oh,
I would. One.
Well, as long as there's voice controls for my Kinect, I'll be okay.
Oh, you would.
Shameless plug, shameless plug, shameless plug.
Skills for kills, Agent. Skills.
This episode of Ramblecast brought to you by Microsoft, the #1 console in America and the world.
That's what happens.
Sponsorship, though.
Sponsorship.
I mean, if we...
I'm not going to say no. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah, I think besides that, what else? Wow. I will say I did actually have a productive summer, so I probably beat around 5 or 6 titles in my backlog.
Oh,
that's not bad.
Oh, not bad at all. The ones that are definitely sticking out, let's see, Bioshock Infinite. Enjoyed the story on that. I do want to get around to playing episode 1 of Burial at Sea. That does look really, really cool.
It's gotten some mixed reviews, though.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of complaints about length, although...
It is episode 1.
It says episode 1.
Well, no, it's like... So it's $15 for, like, a 3 to 4 hour experience. And I saw a couple people complaining about that, but on the other hand, that was pretty standard for, like, Mass Effect DLC, and I'm trying to think what other big story DLC there's been, but...
Yeah, and that's usually...
I don't know.
Less episodic.
I've always had trouble getting the Bioshock, so maybe I'm not the best judge of it, but... What are you going to do?
I've never done the DLCs for it. But on top of that, also, I guess started and finished Last of Us. That wasn't really in my backlog. But that's also exciting. What's the name of the DLC that they
Left Behind.
Left Behind.
With a short little teaser trailer that we'll get to see sometime in the next couple months, I think. Or the teaser trailer we've seen, I mean. But hopefully the DLC will be out within the next couple of months.
That's what I'm hoping for. Thursday night for the PlayStation 4. This past Thursday, I should add. Sony actually released the trailer for the Last of Us single-player DLC. So that also looks like that's going to be a lot of fun to get our hands on. Then also beat the first Infamous. So I'm kind of proud with that after...
Wait, you finally beat that?
Well, yeah, the first one, not the second.
I know, but still, that twist at the end of the first Infamous.
That twist.
I mean, are we allowed to spoil it, given
Straight
that Adam... Yeah, well, it is actually. So you don't care about it, and the game's
spoiler alert!
Full minute.
Yeah. So throughout Infamous 1, you're trying to defeat Kessler, who's this big bad guy who kills your girlfriend, and it seems to be all evil. And then you get to the end of the game, and Kessler tells you that he is in fact you from the future, and he traveled back in time to train you so that you're completely badass and have no emotional attachments. can beat the big bad evil that's coming in Infamous 2.
Exactly.
It was a lot. Okay, it was a lot cooler in game. I'm probably not doing it justice, but it was
poor storytelling skills.
Yeah, what else?
All right, I'll give it a shot. Skip another minute forward. So yeah, in defeating Kessler, you find out that essentially he is Cole McGrath from the future. He had similar powers, but instead of trying to combat evil to bring, a better future to the world, the world actually plunged further into darkness as he was only concerned in saving Trish and his child at that point. And so the entire world was left in ruin as a result of him not sacrificing his family to become a hero. And in doing so, his final power awakened, which was the power of time travel. So then he travels back in time and decides that he's going to breed you into the ultimate hero. It just so happens that he ruled out any future between you and Trish
because he kills her.
So yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, fairly standard fare.
Yep, pretty standard stuff.
Infamous is fun, and Infamous Second Son should be awesome when it finally comes out in March of 2014.
Exactly.
21st, I believe, which they also announced on Thursday at the PlayStation 4 launch event.
Yeah. We're going to give you this system, guys, and all the good games. They're only 6 months away.
Oh, yeah, but that's a standard launch, unfortunately. When I got my 360, I got Perfect Dark Zero and Cameo. Cameo was actually all right. I played through it once. It was kind of like Zelda dungeon crawler type game, and it was actually enjoyable. And Perfect Dark, I gave up on this one stupid level that was like you had to go through a maze of a building, and it was timed. And not reasonably timed. Like, I tried it 3 times and didn't even get halfway through the maze, said screw it, and never played it again.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Back in the day, way in 2005. Man.
The world didn't know what was coming.
No.
Lots of red rings?
Lots of... Hey,
Yellow.
Keep a good towel around. The Xbox One is coming.
What?
I really don't know how you got the towel trick to work.
If the Xbox One honestly has anything even remotely similar to an overheating problem...
I'm going to burn mine?
It'll be like the worst thing that has ever happened.
Guys.
Yeah, but mine will still be around because I'll have that towel.
Guys, PlayStation 4's had a heating problem.
What?
Yeah,
That's not even something PlayStation's known for.
I know. They're trying to steal Microsoft's thunder.
Oh, good. Well, maybe they just took it. Microsoft sold them the rights to overheating.
So it's still early.
It's very early.
There have been so we've gotten the occasional reports of failure from people posting on the internet, which, given that the internet is more around than it was in 2005, isn't overly surprising. Amazon has stopped doing customer service for the PS4 or something along those lines due to a quote-unquote high failure rate.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have any evidence of what that failure rate is, only that it's occasionally happening.
Yep.
That's how the 360 problem started, right?
I know. That's you have to understand, part of me is watching this going like, I can't believe we're doing this again.
Yeah.
Like, guys, test your damn software.
Right?
Like, Seriously,
Give
test
it the gaming test.
Some of it's software.
Put it in somebody's basement.
Yeah.
Like, I know the other problem that they were having with some of them is there's a piece of metal in the HDMI port that's sticking up in just the right way that the HDMI port's not working. So I don't know. I've been watching Reddit and a couple of other sites to see like what the failure rate seems to be, and it doesn't seem to be that high yet. I'm hoping, but we won't really know for the next couple of weeks, really. Because the big question is, are these consoles that are is there a set number of consoles that are doomed to fail? Right. And because they, at least for the moment, they're all failing within 3 days of launch. Or is this a widespread problem that like after a certain amount of time, the PlayStation 4 just... I think part of the issue is like there's a software problem which keeps the fan from running, which means the red line of death, I believe I think that's what it's starting to be called, depending on who you talk to. Yeah. The red line of death on the top of it will tell you that your console's overheating because the fan's not running, but it's a little early to say how big of a problem it is, I think.
Well, I guess
just keep an eye on it, and if you see a red line on your PlayStation 4, turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Even though none of us will probably admit it, the PlayStation 4 does have some good titles, some pretty good titles that launched with it. And again, you guys may not be so much, but the sports titles that launched with the PlayStation 4 have been fantastic.
Like,
Nice.
which sports
How about
titles?
FIFA?
I honestly haven't looked at them.
Okay, so FIFA 14 launched with it,
Okay.
which has taken the soccer to a new level. Like, just I've heard they upped the complexity, which was impressive from the complexity that there was in 13. And then on top of that, there's NBA 2K14, which has had just the best graphics that a sports game has really ever had.
Well, that's pretty sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, so
And then football also, Madden NFL 25. They're just throwing back to every person that's ever been on Madden before.
yeah, it looks like a lot of the multi-platform titles have all been doing pretty well. So I got the chance to try out Battlefield 4 on the PlayStation 4 last night and played it for like 2 hours, and had some absolutely hilarious moments, like the time I jumped out of my helicopter and planning my awesome descent on parachuting into the water, and then got like chopped up by the helicopter's rotors immediately after. That was a good one. There's the time I threw a grenade into a wall and didn't realize it was underneath my feet, and it blew me up. That was good. But yeah, I played a little bit of Team Deathmatch last night because they've been having some server trouble with PlayStation Network being down, I think.
Mm-hmm. They actually have.
Surprise.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you get lots of people on all at once. But Battlefield 4 is currently sitting at 87 on Metacritic. Not a surprise, given that it's been out on PC in like 360 and PS3 for a while, but it's actually a lot of fun, and it looks pretty good.
Yep.
We've got Assassin's Creed 4, which has been fairly well reviewed, I think.
Oh,
I don't know if any of us have played that yet.
I usually get Assassin's Creeds on Black Friday when I can get them cheap.
I think
I'm looking forward to it. Like, I love the space, not the space stuff. Space Assassin's Creed.
Space Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe Assassin's Creed 5, please. But yeah, so they've got the sea battles, and I love those in Assassin's Creed 3, and Assassin's Creed 4 has even more of them, which can only be a good thing.
It just seems like all of them.
Yeah. And then
apparently that was something reviewed very highly from 3.
Yeah, no, it was like
they could make a whole game out of.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well. And then as far as actual exclusives go, the big launch title, of course, is Killzone Shadowfall. Looks really beautiful. It's been getting decent reviews. I feel like it's about par for Killzones, which is that, guys, this is going to be the greatest game ever. Okay, it's not the greatest game ever. It's okay, but it's still fun, guys.
Give it a shot. Yeah.
So that's fairly standard. Knack has been getting some pretty rough reviews.
It's been going back and forth. People have cited it as being repetitive. Maybe the voice acting qualities, admittedly, a little inconsistent. But it seems like a large amount of people have been giving it mixed reviews. So more people aren't quite sure about it, rather than loving it or hating it. But people, I'm sure, would still look forward to another one if they announced it was just the beginning of a franchise.
Yeah, I mean, I think it seems like Knack, and probably Killzone as well, they all suffer from the launch title, which is the launch title syndrome. Like, guys, you've got 2 weeks to finish the game, but we're not even done yet. Well, you better have it out by then.
That's really unfortunate, because that is not what we've told the public.
Right.
But on the really bright side, as far as PlayStation 4 exclusives, Resogun, which is an arcade game and free for PlayStation Plus members, a lot of fun to play. It reminds me. So, Adam, did you ever play Geometry Wars?
Of course I did.
Yeah. So think of Geometry Wars, but instead of being on a flat plane, it's on like a cylindrical plane.
Okay.
Lots of cool particles and weapon upgrades and all the fun stuff. It's a really cool looking game. It's got your usual shooty stuff mechanic, but it's also got this saving of humans mechanic. I honestly don't understand what the game's trying to get me to do most of the time, but
do you think so? They explode?
Well,
that was my
there's just lots of stuff exploding and shooting at me, and I'm shooting them. But it is
on that topic.
On the topic of
Steven,
shooting stuff.
Steven, did you enjoy Geometry Wars?
I did for the most part. Yeah.
Devin, do you like shooting zombies?
Why would I not like shooting zombies?
Yeah, well, Zombie Apocalypse on the Xbox 360 is those two put together.
Oh wait, I remember that game. Didn't we play that
yeah,
on a regular?
I have it on my Xbox 360.
I had totally forgotten about that game.
You want a fresh take on Geometry Wars and don't want to buy a new console?
It's a few years old, but it's worth playing.
I played it. I've played it the last couple of weeks with Jeff. Jeff loves it.
Yep.
So the non-console gamer and the console gamer gaming together.
Wait. Do you mean non-console gamer? Is he just doesn't game, or is he part of?
No, he's a computer gamer.
Well, okay, hang on. So Jeff
master
plays
race.
computer games. I've played League of Legends with him. Not a lot to write home about. Like, whenever I talk to someone about League of Legends, they're like, okay, I'm really bad. I'm like, you know what? You can't be as bad as Jeff.
Whoa, hold on now.
He tried to do
We
damage.
played with worse people.
I'm not sure about that.
Me.
But what about
That one time when I was in Vienna.
Oh, yeah, Devin.
Yeah. I don't do MOBAs now because of that. It was a fairly traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Well, there was our Shyvana friend.
I don't know.
No, but anyways,
But
he's not a console gamer. He enjoys gaming. I'm going with enjoying. I'm not saying he's good at it.
okay. No, that's fair.
Okay.
Skill. But it's
Well,
it's a wave-based game. So you survive waves after waves with different weapons. It's pretty the weapon I guess select is pretty similar to Geometry Wars with the human saving aspect. So it's a lot of fun. A good time suck if you're looking for that, which Geometry Wars always was.
Speaking of zombies, Adam, Dying Light.
Dying Light.
Have you seen anything about
PS4,
that?
right?
It is,
I
but
haven't seen
I
it.
thought it's also on Xbox One.
I think it is. I think it's a multi-platform indie game.
All right. Thinking. Now, take this. Bear with me, all right? Bear with me on this one.
Now.
It does seem somewhat similar to Dead Island. Although, despite that, I remain hopeful.
Well, I mean, we liked Dead Island.
We did, but then we got
real repetitive.
well, that and the random
also-
respawn parts in the town. in the
Right.
city.
I mean, they were, but for the most part, there were parts of Dead Island that were done like really well.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
It was a good
not one of them,
concept that
but-
needed a little bit of polish on the execution, I think.
Yeah. So
From watching you guys play it.
Well, I actually picked up the PC version, courtesy of Raptor, which was pretty cool. And yeah, they actually patched a lot of the stuff that we were having problems with, but kind of that initial interest had already passed that point. So now every time I want to play it, I just don't have anyone to play with.
Whoa.
Interesting.
But yeah, no. So now
It does sound interesting. It sounds sort of like Dead Island mixed with Dead Rising.
and with a little bit of not quite Mirror's Edge, but there is some parkour elements to it, if I'm not mistaken. And the undead, for better or for worse, can do that as well.
Oh God.
Yeah, and
Hardcore zombies.
That's no fun.
That's terrifying.
What is the worst that could happen? Okay.
World War Z with coordination.
Yes.
Those zombies were terrifying. They just didn't care.
Self-preservation just never really been, part of the motif of the undead.
This definitely does look like a
game worth
title.
Is it out now, or is it?
I think it's a 2014 title.
Okay. I mean, so speaking of 2014 titles, looking at least just starting for the PlayStation 4, and then we can talk about Xbox One later. But
of course,
PlayStation 4 titles that you're excited for, or at least looking forward to seeing once they come out. And I know for me, the big one's going to be Uncharted and Infamous Second Son.
Yeah.
Those were the two franchises that. Well, Uncharted is the one that got me started on my PlayStation 3, and then I bought Infamous when Microsoft announced the always-on DRM. That was my screw you, Microsoft. I'm gonna go somewhere else now.
Feelings be hurt.
My feelings were hurt, and so I had a Rebound game, and however, they were awesome games. So Infamous Second Son and Uncharted when those two come out, that'll be when I'm gonna start seriously looking at getting a PlayStation 4 for me. Do we know what else is coming out in 2014 for?
That are exclusives?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got Watch Dogs, of course, but
that's not an exclusive.
Yeah,
and that's coming out eventually. That's pretty big. It's coming out. I mean, we know that much.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything that I'd super want that you haven't already named.
Those are the two big ones I know.
Uncharted, hearing that announced was exciting. I'll probably have some sort of nerdgasm when I see a trailer for Uncharted.
Yeah, actually, so Uncharted also seems to be a pirate theme gamed. So
Pirates.
2013 was the year of the bow and arrow.
And Luigi.
Nintendo can sit in a corner for a moment. But like Crysis 3, the big weapon was a bow and arrow. Tomb Raider, the big weapon was a bow and arrow. Last of Us, the big weapon was a bow and arrow. What else had a big, like, I'm trying to think. There was one other big game.
You can carry it over just because it's Q4 2012. Bow and arrow and Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh, yeah, and Assassin's Creed 3 had it as well.
I'm just going to say very loosely. It's
yeah, so like 2012, 2013 was the year of the bow and arrow. 2014 is going to be the year of the pirates, I think. Mm-hmm. We're going to have Assassin's Creed 4. We're going to have Uncharted, maybe. I don't know. It just seems like the new theme. It's the new thing to do.
I don't have an issue with that, though.
Oh,
no, not a complaint.
Pirates are awesome.
Observation.
I mean, we had zombies a few years ago. Then we had, like survival, bow and arrow. Now we've got pirates. So probably, I'm going to call it now, end of 2014, 2015 is going to be the year of the ninja.
Okay.
Be my guess.
Hoping.
I'm okay with that.
And because we'll have these next-gen consoles, graphics so good, you can't even see the ninja.
Just take 2 seconds. You can see your own character, you get an instant game over. It's going to be very problematic, but it'll somehow work.
Yeah.
So
gathers.
Yeah.
Just trying to look through a list of...
Most of the titles they've announced are either ones that are coming out before the end of the year. So either launch titles or like soon after launch titles that got delayed by a week or two.
Yeah, like NBA Live comes out on the 19th, for example.
So, or they're the games that were supposed to come out at launch and got delayed, like Watch Dogs. There hasn't been a whole lot of other announcements so far, which is a little odd. I'd like to see some announcements soon about games coming in like Q1 and Q2 of 2014. Mm-hmm. That was kind of the problem that the Wii U had, was that right after it came out, there was that like almost a 6-month drought of no good games coming out. And that's one of the things that like is killing the system. And thankfully, we've got Super Mario 3D World coming out.
HD.
What? Oh, yeah. Well, that's the type of thing it's the thing that like sells consoles. So like you look at the Wii had Twilight Princess at launch, and and Super Mario Galaxy came out fairly soon after. I want to say
probably the following year.
But like the Wii U so far, we're coming up. I think it's a year in November in this month.
Yeah.
And as far as like those big titles, it's been kind of lacking. So I want to see some PlayStation 4 and Xbox One games get announced that are coming out soon.
Yeah.
But we are all Xbox One pre-orders, so we're a tad biased. So super Xbox biased. One, like what are you getting at launch and why?
Well, first off, more like Xbox Fun. All right, now they've done the plug.
Well, you two seem to be pretty sold on your first game, as I am not yet.
Well, so for me, I decided a while ago that it was going to be Watch Dogs, open world game based on technology. Like, that looks fantastic to me. Yeah. Oh, it's delayed 6 months. Never mind. So I was looking around. I never played any of the Dead Rising games, so I've heard good things about them, but sandbox open world games have never been my if there's not a really solid like hook for me, like Crackdown had, then I don't play them very much. Mm-hmm. So Dead Rising 3 is kind of a maybe. I'll probably play it if one of you guys get it and I can try it. And like as far as other launch titles go, there's Assassin's Creed 4. I'm sure it's a great game. Not going to be my launch title though. And then I finally like Battlefield 4 looks good. I've seen all the funny videos of people jumping out of planes and crashing the planes into ridiculous buildings and it all blowing up. And Levolution, oh my god, yeah. But and I got to play it last night and I was like, you know what, this looks like my launch title.
Although to be fair, I could probably spend the first 3 months I have my Xbox One just yelling at my TV. And be perfectly content. I'm gonna Skype you guys while watching sports.
So I was talking about all this with a friend the other day. On the one hand, I'm extremely disappointed because there aren't any Kinect games at launch or any games that utilize Kinect in like that amazing way at launch that sells it as a tie-in for the system.
Except for Just Dance 2014.
Just Dance 2014.
Okay. Just go away, Dan.
Zoom Fitness World Party.
Yeah, but like. On the one hand, I'm disappointed in the Kinect at launch as a gaming device. On the other hand, some of the voice functionality, assuming it works as well as it looks like it does, I'm actually probably going to be kind of excited for.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we all know that Adam loves his Kinect.
Yes.
I played Kinect yesterday at a party, and I was like, damn it, like I forgot how good this like Kinect Sports is when you're actually doing it as a party.
Right?
And we had some really intense volleyball matches.
And he's been sore ever since.
Yes.
But
let's
he's not an
No.
athletic type.
No, possible. It's okay.
By no means is he large. He's a very skinny kid.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
anything.
you realize everyone's listening now, just picturing me as just
Well,
like
yeah,
500 pounds.
Yeah,
You
right?
know, you weigh maybe half a pound. It's mostly because you don't eat anything.
Yeah.
That's probably why you're bad at sports. Your body can't support your frame anymore.
Well, Devin, talk about your launch title. What's going on? I'm not here.
So I've been kind of dancing around with a lot of titles. I am for certain grabbing Dead Rising 3. I played the first one. I enjoyed it. The second one I actually didn't get until it showed up with Games with Gold.
Oh,
for,
that's
Xbox
a quick
Live.
side note. Adam, did you see that Games for Gold is now announced as an ongoing feature for both the 360 and the Xbox One?
No, I did not.
Do you know what it is?
I have no idea.
Okay, so Games for Gold. So the way PlayStation Plus works is every month there's like 5 or 6 games that are free to PlayStation Plus members, and you can play it for download and play like these full retail games for free on your PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. It's cool. So Games for Gold is kind of Microsoft's interpretation of the same program, except assuming it stays as they've been doing for the last summer. There's 2 games a month, so like you get 1 game for the first 2 weeks and another the second 2 weeks, and you get to download that game and then you own it for the rest of time.
Yeah.
Forever and ever and ever.
So, for example, earlier this month, I believe, so the first half of November. What?
It was a
So first half of October, Halo 3 was available for download. So you could download the game for free if you had gold, and you get to keep it. I mean, assuming you didn't already have a disc-based version, of course. But
Yeah.
Right?
and like it'll include other. So it's a free game every 2 weeks essentially, and you get it just for being an Xbox Live Gold member, which is. I'm really glad to see because Xbox Live Gold, justifying that price has been kind of difficult for a while.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
And getting free games, that works.
And I think that's one of the things to make the distinction between. Yeah, PlayStation Plus's program is awesome. I think as long as you're planning to keep a continued support, that's the best part. Going forward, you do have to keep in mind that if there's any lapse in your coverage of your PlayStation Plus plan, you do lose access to the games that you downloaded previously, even when you renew your subscription to PlayStation Plus. Versus with Xbox Gold, if your subscription ends and you renew it like 2 days, a week, a month, a year later, you still have the games that you were entitled to downloading for free under that subscription the first time around.
Yeah. It's a nice little plus. Anyway, so Dead Rising 2, which is the previous successor to Dead Rising 3, sorry, predecessor, not successor.
Yeah, no.
Surprisingly, Dead Rising 2 came before Dead Rising 3. Was free on Gold.
I'm shocked. I mean,
What a world.
the Xbox 360 came
Before the
359 before the one.
Madness.
So I'm getting an Xbox One. I desperately want to slap whoever came up with that idea. Like I can see the board meeting where like you've got that like the young, I don't know, not CEO, but like you've got that young manager guy. He's like, I got like, and they're like, guys, what do we want to call the new Xbox? The guys downstairs want to call it the Xbox Infinity. I'm not so sure. And I can just see that guy who's like, this is a hilarious idea, guys. We'll call it the Xbox One, so people will call it the One. He totally means it as a joke. And everyone's like, dude, that is the greatest idea ever. We're done. We're doing it.
This
And then
is
everyone's just like, facepalm. God, really? This was not a serious idea. Yeah. I still think Xbox One is a terrible name. It hurts me on the inside. It opens up to names like the X-Bone. However, I'm still looking forward to it. Anyway.
I think
Devin,
it could have been rebranding, kind of like how you just have straight up Mortal Kombat now, and after so many colons, they just decided to go with the original title of the series. So yeah, they're just calling it the Xbox One because when you had an Xbox 360, if you had an Xbox before that, you called it the Xbox One. So now we're just gonna have a little bit of that discussion.
Flashbacks to the giant box with an X on it.
Yes.
I don't know about you. That box still makes me laugh. It was the greatest example of just throwing random design elements into the same thing. Like,
didn't it?
I remember hearing
that was
that
the last generation I had all 3 consoles.
Really?
Nice.
Actually, this generation for me has been the first generation I've had all 3 consoles.
Well then.
Second, I win.
2 in a row.
I will say though that I did get rid of my GameCube because I needed money for Twilight Princess
How
and a
dare
memory
you.
card for my Wii.
As should be appropriate.
Exactly.
Anyway, so Adam, you said you hadn't decided on a launch
I
title.
haven't decided yet. I mean,
What are you
obviously, I'm
thinking?
between the games that those. I mean, I'm not ready for Assassin's Creed yet. I'm still recovering from Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
Probably a proper term.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. So as far as the launch title list goes, I don't have any people to play sports with, so I'm not going to get the sports games at launch.
Fair.
That makes sense.
So that narrows it down to Dead Rising 3 or Battlefield 4.
Either
Or
one.
Rise, Son of Rome.
Yeah, why not?
No.
I mean,
It
as
looks like a beautiful game. However, when the best that has been said about it in previews is that, hey guys, this doesn't suck quite as much as we thought it did.
Well, that just means they have to undo a lot of the damage. I actually listened to IGN's Achievement Unlocked podcast a couple weeks ago when they were interviewing Phil Spencer, and that he said when they were trying to get the video ready for E3, there actually weren't those massive QuickTime events. They were just trying to give people an idea of what each
the
button
video
was
definitely
coinciding with.
misrepresented the game, I think.
Yeah.
But to me, the biggest issue is Rise has existed for the last couple of years as kind of that rumor floating around of Crytek's mysterious Kinect game.
That explains the why.
Yeah, so that was the original idea behind Rise. Is I believe they announced it in 2010-ish.
Wow.
I want to say, as like they just showed a quick trailer, and or like announced it or something like that. And it was going to be the big Kinect game. And I think, as they pushed it back and kept working on it, they realized it'd work better for Xbox One, or they wanted to be a launch title, hopefully get some more sales that way. And in the process, the game's kind of changed focus. It changed from being a Kinect-only game to a non-Kinect game, kind of QuickTime event. It's kind of got a combat system similar to the Arkham series, but a little bit simpler. So it doesn't look terrible. I'm not sure it's worth a $60 buy, though.
I figure I'll give it a chance with reviews. I mean, obviously you do want to take this with a grain of salt because their opinions may definitely differ from mine. But yeah, I do want to give it more credit than what it was given initially back in June, but I still can't say that it's at a level at which I would commit to buying it like I'm doing with Dead Rising 3, for example. I've had experience with that franchise. I'm familiar with what they're about. I kind of like some of the Kinect implementations. So, for example, now, if you have the microphone on your Kinect console enabled, and you run into a room and it's just packed with zombies, and they haven't sensed your presence yet, if you're screaming in your room, then your microphone picks that up. You'll alert the horde that way.
So what you're saying, Devin?
Devin's lost.
I was going to say, if any of you are doing multiplayer with me, I'm just screaming all the time whenever we run through areas. I'm just
Well, to be fair, I'm just letting you go first always. I mean,
So this is basically just Dead Island all over
that's
again.
how Left 4 Dead worked.
This is just my
Let
act.
Devin go first. That way he'll get punched, and the rest of us will shoot whatever punched him.
Well, you can always be sure
God.
that Devin will find the tank on the map.
The unannounced tank. It's just always the surprise tank.
Oh, yeah.
Goes, surprise! In the face!
It was bad. We were playing on PC a couple of weeks ago, and we were doing Dead Carnival again. And
Oh, God.
Exactly. I was just thinking, there's no zombies around there. Oh, my God! And then there was a tank right on the other side of that hedge.
At least it's not as bad as Elena's fire techniques.
Yeah.
To be
Always
fair,
set us on fire.
my fire techniques were far worse during that play session.
during that play session, but man.
Well, there was the one where she set me and Devin in that room on Dead Carnival with a tank and lit the doorway on fire.
I see no
right,
problem
I
with
remember
this.
that.
It's just me and Devin screaming around the room with a tank chasing us, and Elena going, "Sorry, sorry, sorry."
Yeah, that had it was a strong tradition that carried over from 2009's Left 4 Dead, so that had been going on for quite some time. But it was good, and so yeah, Dead Rising 3, I'm gonna get it. I hadn't actually clarified the other stuff I'm looking at. I'm really thinking about the Lego Marvel Universe, just because the Lego games are.
I
they're fun
am
enough.
too.
And
But
it's Marvel, so I'm.
what it's actually going to
Marvel.
depend on is if I see Thor again, then I'll probably pick up Lego superheroes because I'll be just like, oh, I need more. Why can't there be a good Marvel video game that's not Lego?
That's about it. I mean,
Well, Lego just gets Marvel. That's just how that happens.
No, Lego just gets everyone. Like, there's not been a bad Lego game.
they're fun.
I've been not blown away by Lego games before. But then again, Adam's opinions are always different.
That's the other reason why you're on. So
But he did get one right, didn't he, Steven?
Oh.
I'm trying to figure out which one he picked.
Ooh.
Halo 4.
Aww.
Aw.
Aww.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely have to bring that one up too.
I mean, on that note, we should probably do our favorites for the previous consoles.
Ooh. Next
Favorites?
gen, like current gen,
Current gen.
look back, whatever. I don't know.
That's right.
Man,
We'll do your favorite, do your least favorite,
Ooh.
and do the one that surprised you the most.
the one that surprised me the most.
Oh yeah, I'm putting
Ooh.
Steven on first.
Oh, you would.
Hey,
Damn
look.
it. Oh, actually, on the other hand, so favorite, least favorite surprised me the most, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think I'm gonna have to say favorite Halo 3.
That's fair.
I think it was one of the better games of the Halo franchise. I love ODST as well and what it how it experimented with the Halo formula, but I think Halo 3 just was perfect.
You
In
didn't like Halo Wars?
It was all right, but no.
Very serious.
So yeah, Halo 3 probably my favorite. Given also Mass Effect, as a trilogy, I love. Sorry, I know I'm cheating. But on the other hand, we're talking about your favorite game in the last 7 years.
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot of years to pick.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So Halo and Mass Effect, definitely some of my favorites. Surprising, I'm actually gonna have to give them to Batman: Arkham Asylum. The fact that someone made a good superhero game, and especially a good Batman game, completely blew me away. The combat system was fantastic, and it was a great game. And then, as far as my least favorite game,
You can say it.
I'm not gonna say it. Stop that.
I'm gonna say it.
I'm trying. Are we talking about least favorite game that I own?
Well, yeah, one that you bought expecting it to be good, and it was just like, wow, this game sucks.
Ooh. I'm trying to
he's debating.
I've been generally very good about buying games.
Okay, well then go with one that you avoided
No, I'm not.
after it came out.
I'm not. So I'm not to give it. I think to God of War 3.
Really?
So I played it. The mechanics are all right, but I felt like they went way above and beyond a tasteful level of violence. I actually had trouble with that, and I don't generally have trouble with violence in games, but that game disturbed me.
Oh man. Well, Zeus gave me grief, so I gave him the fist.
Over and over again.
Well, because the thing is, Brandon. All right, spoiler alert. For 45 seconds again. Yeah. So if you're defeating Zeus in God of War 3, it's just a quick time event to keep punching him in the face, but they don't really just stop when you can stop punching him in the face. They just kind of keep letting you do it until the entire screen's just covered in blood. And so the first time, I was just going to town. Kratos was having himself a good time. But I waited 3 seconds. It's like, well, there's no cutscenes, so I'm going to go back to doing it.
Yeah, that was my experience as well. I honestly felt like that game was trying to make me be a complete douche.
So for two solid minutes, just wailing on Zeus's face. But cool thing that happened, Kevin Sorbo came back from Hollywood Purgatory to do the voice of Hercules, which, as cool as it was, also made me feel bad for doing what Kratos did to him. So there we go.
I mean, that is the summary of that game, is you feel bad about everything.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, I killed him. Oh.
Shouldn't have done that, Kratos. I think I will go next.
Okay,
Oh,
give
man.
it to us.
I would have to say, wow, probably any of the RPGs that Bethesda's done. Usually those are the ones where if I grab a title, I just tell friends, family, loved ones in general that I'm not coming out for the rest of that season. And usually that's more or less true.
You saw the Fallout 4 teaser thing, right?
I've heard about it. I have not seen
It's
it.
not confirmed, but there's a website up that seems to possibly be by Bethesda. That's got lots of Fallout 4 references in it.
Or they could just be pulling a Steam and messing with us.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, exactly. So until I actually get a trailer or confirmation from Bethesda, I'm going to take that Fallout 4 rumor with really just a Dead Sea amount of salt. But like Oblivion, I played that, and then I had to switch my Xbox, and I ended up having to switch it twice. And the only reason why I stopped playing it is because I couldn't get my licenses to transfer again, and because I had already beaten Knights of the Nine and the Mayrune's Razor DLC. I couldn't access it again. I couldn't access it without an internet connection, and it actually reset those quests. So I had to start them all over again, and I'm just not a big fan of restarting games that I haven't beaten. I'm down to play through them again if I've already seen the ending, but I can't otherwise.
Yeah.
Fallout 3, loved it to death. The only DLC that I didn't beat was Mothership Zeta, and that was just because I ended up getting Fallout New Vegas. Another game which I did enjoy. Luckily, I got it during finals week, so I heard that there was a lot of problems on day one and that there were patches that were released, but I wasn't able to play it for an entire week as a result. So I didn't have any problems from there. And then there's Skyrim, which I use as an alternative to going outside. Those would have to be my favorite franchise. For me, I think the surprise was ODST. I first heard about it, and I was just thinking, well, they concluded Master Chief's story. I'm out. I don't care anymore. And then I thought it was kind of a cool intersect, just because you're not only playing as the orbital drop shock troopers in the Halo universe, but there's that cool event at the beginning of the game, which coincides with the event in Halo 2, in which that Covenant cruiser goes into slip space in the city, which actually kicks off the events.
That scene where you're dropping down from orbit and watching that was so cool.
That little kind of crossover between Halo 2 and Halo 3 ODST was actually excited me a lot more than I thought it would. In terms of disappointment, I will say I've been less spendy with money, because that's going to be a word now, with games, just because when you don't have money to buy every game, you're a lot more selective with what you do pick up.
Yep.
I had been really excited for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows this summer on Xbox Live, and unfortunately there were a myriad of issues, just bugs and some glitches that made the game unplayable in some parts. So you would have a character push a button to open a trapdoor somewhere, and then if you push the button again, it would close, and the character would be stuck in there, but you couldn't push the button again.
Genius.
Or you'd push the button and it would work, and you would run around with that character, and anytime you tried to do any interaction buttons, so maybe jump, do any of the attacks, anything that wasn't movement, and he'd continue to perform the gesture to push a button, which makes combat terrible. But
difficult.
Exactly, and you couldn't move different levels when that was happening either. So if you were in the subway, you need to jump onto the rails to run further into the subway. You couldn't jump until that glitch was fixed, or you had to switch to another turtle. And it's multiplayer, so if you're playing with 4 people, that just means one of you is going to have to suck it up and wait for the game to actually give you control back to the character. So I've been really excited just because they took a new take on these turtles. It was like, oh man, they're realistic looking.
Yeah.
Ugly as hell. This is awesome. I love it.
And they dropped the ball. Damn you.
They really did. I was so looking forward to it. And I think the thing that I thought was not redeeming enough for me to say play this game, but the thing that I at least enjoyed was each character has a taunt. And if you get all 4 of them together, they do a quick dance that kind of references the TMNT live action movies from the 90s. But yeah, that had to be my list. We'll just have to hope going forward. I don't know if they've patched that or not, but a lot of times if you have a negative experience with the content as it's first available, it's kind of hard to get past that.
Okay, well, I guess my best. I would have to say, well, God, as much as I love the Left 4 Dead movies, much as I love the Left 4 Dead movies.
Well, they do present each mission
yeah,
like
they're
that,
kind
so
of
that's
meant to be
That's
B-list
fair. You
movies.
can see that.
Left 4 Dead gets silver to my Assassin's Creed 2 trilogy.
Oh, so the Ezio trilogy.
Yes, my Assassin's Creed 2 trilogy, when I was jumping around assassinating friends and talking like an Italian guy.
Oh my god,
that was such a great game.
It was, wasn't it?
Mhm.
I guess my list gets longer in the surprise category.
Do it.
First surprise, a party game that really never ran out of fun. The Rock Band series.
Oh man, we had so many band splits.
Right?
You know,
People that, and Steven will probably admit it, probably wasn't into that.
I would.
Stuff
So
before.
I still hate like dance games or anything music based. However, anytime Journey's "Don't Stop Believing" comes in, that is all I remember is doing it down there.
I mean, sometimes you just, it's just the right thing. I guess my second surprise is Call of Duty doing something I liked. Yes, I know it's a game add-on, Nazi zombies, whatever. Still did something awesome that is different than things that I had played previous to that. I guess my third surprise, which I guess is one particular game, but more of a theme that the 360 did well, was new games that were old games. So I got Blitz the League.
Here comes the Blitz.
Here comes the Blitz. I used to love the arcade game Blitz. You just running around tackling whoever you pleased. There's no penalties in Blitz. And so I saw Blitz the League, and I was slow at first. I was like, I want to buy it because I love Blitz, but I'm so worried that they messed everything up. They didn't. They took Blitz and they put in a season mode.
Nice.
And on top of that, they put in steroids.
I mean,
so
how could that be bad?
Well, the option was either give him steroids or let him be injured half the season. So, of course, I always gave him steroids. And, of course, Daniel always let him be injured half the season.
Oh, it was amazing.
But, yeah, I think that sort of concept, was another surprise that I loved. And I guess I don't really have to say it about my biggest disappointment, but I'll say it.
Keep in mind, anyone who's listening to this doesn't know what... They heard you hinting at it.
It's just a reference that we all get because we weren't all on board when you said it, and now we're just kind of like, yeah, well.
Yeah. So the biggest disappointment, the far and away best disappointment.
Hang on. It's got to be Brink, right? You were so excited for that.
Daniel's going to kill you. Brink was awesome, by the way. Awesome game.
Except it was terrible.
No, it was awesome. Two storylines that actually were one storyline played in reverse direction.
Wait, what? Spoilers?
Spoilers.
Well,
anyways.
The same way one spoils Team Fortress 2.
I guess Call of Duty Halo Edition was probably my least favorite game. For all of you out there that don't know, that's Halo 4.
It makes me sad.
4-3 tried really hard to make a Call of Duty Halo Edition, and they probably were quite successful. But I didn't want to buy Call of Duty. I wanted to buy Halo.
Successful is a tricky word. If you look at the people playing the game as the months rolled forward,
right?
I would say that's
its population has dropped faster than any other Halo game. And I was talking about this with a friend the other day that he's like, no, but there's more. Call of Duty is much bigger now. So when Halo 3 came out in 2007, the same year that Modern Warfare came out, the first one, the one that revolutionized and broke all the records.
And I was terrible at it, so I stopped.
So they came out. So Halo came out on September 25th. Modern Warfare came out in November. So a month and a half later.
You forgot about Cabela's.
And what?
Forgot about Cabela's.
Oh, right. Sorry. My bad. Cabela's best game ever. Anyway, so a year after Halo 3 came out, 1.1 million players still playing on a regular basis. Halo 4, a year after it came out, which is about now, it's got 20,000?
Yeah.
So nobody?
It
goes down.
I think they tried really hard.
They got two things right, I would say. Sprinting. How sad is that that's our highlight, is that you can now, oh my god, you're a super Spartan. Sprint is no longer an ability. It's actually something you can do. Turns out you can run. I think, Devin, you showed me the comic of how they teach Spartans, apparently. They teach
BG cats.
one guy they teach one guy how to jetpack, and they teach one guy how to, do this and be invisible. Well, what's this? Oh, here, go jump on that treadmill. Go learn how to run really fast.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's how you look at it. Like, you could either run or get a cool jetpack. The two are, they're
Sprinting
very different
was a
training.
solid choice, I think. I thought the campaign was actually still fairly solid.
Well, here's the problem. They had a huge opportunity here by adding in the new species to be fighting against.
Right.
Which brought in a new set of weapons.
Yeah, the new weapons I think were a little disappointing. However,
They were the exact guns.
I
It was
know.
Not smart with a sweet
But I mean-
ski on it, dude. Like, they're the exact same guns. They had a chance to go out and do something different, and they were like, "Yeah, we're good."
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
I'd like to think that Halo 4's troubles came out of one. 343 was building their studio at the same time they were building Halo 4, and they were hiring a lot of people who worked on AAA first-person shooters before, which is Call of Duty. So I think that's part of the problem. I'm hoping that now that the studio has been established for a while, they've seen the reaction to Halo 4, and they're not trying to build the studio at the same time they're building the game. I'm hopeful Halo 5 will kind of be more of a return to the game's roots, to the series roots. At the moment, there's no evidence either way. The extent of Halo we've gotten is they showed us a pre-rendered trailer that wasn't actually meant to be Halo 5. It was more just that, like, see, we're going to have Halo on Xbox One. Like, no one figured out that was going to happen.
Also, whoever run maintenance on Master Chief's suit just dipped out.
Yeah.
Couldn't get Sand, Mia, Mjolnir, Mark. Is that 6?
I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
I know Halo 4 was a little bit of a disappointment for me too.
A little.
A little. Just let's leave it at that.
Hey, nope.
So those are our lists of
Yeah.
wins, losses, and ooh-my's.
George Takei, my.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my.
This podcast has been endorsed by George Takei.
Oh, definitely. Now you're gonna get sued. Great job.
Say that.
Is that libel?
I think
This
so.
podcast has been endorsed by our version of George Takei.
Our fictional version of him.
Fictional mind version of George Takei.
Plus, our parents think we're pretty cool, so yeah, check
Okay,
us out.
so this is something I've decided, right?
Okay.
The 360 games on the Xbox One, they're not going to be available right away. Right?
Right.
So, I think what you'll
Again,
see.
It happened in
is-
the 360 where right away. You couldn't use most of the titles
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the Xbox,
Pretty
and so they added them on, patches, whatever. So I'm not worried about that. But what I'm gonna do is that my Xbox 360
Is gonna plug into the back of your
is gonna
Xbox One.
plug into my Xbox One, so that I can say Xbox, and it'll switch to the Xbox 360. And
I'm not sure if that'll work.
I'm sure
'cause-
it's gonna work.
So
Xbox
the
Inception.
concern I've heard is that because it's the Xbox One has to process the signal coming from whatever is plugged into that HDMI in, so
Yep.
you might see a little bit of controller lag. In terms
Well,
like
no,
it may
I
not be
use
as
my 360 controller for the 360.
no. So the issue is that because the Xbox One has to process the signal before it puts it on screen,
Yeah.
there'll be a slight lag in terms of what you do and when you see it.
Got it.
And I don't think anyone's been able to test how bad it will or won't be at this point. And I would like to think that they can actually set it up at some point so that you can do that.
Right?
Or you can
Or just all the
or
Xbox
gas.
360
You just
titles.
you plug your PS4 into your Xbox One.
There you go.
And do it that
Xbox, PlayStation,
You get double game DVR.
and then it might just zap you.
And then
Xbox
then
will just
you
reach out and
do the snap. So on one half of your screen you've got an Xbox One game going, and the other half you've got a PlayStation 4 game going, and everyone's happy.
your friends are playing like two separate games.
No, okay. And then on top of that, you're both playing Battlefield 4, but on different systems.
Great. Then we get into graphics comparisons, which I'm sure the Xbox will lose.
Okay, so at least for the moment,
60
it's
FPS.
yeah. So it was really funny because there's this big resolution gate, like, guys, Call of Duty Ghost runs at 720p on the Xbox One and 1080p on the PlayStation 4,
Blasphemy.
and everyone's like, oh my god, Xbox One sucks. And then Call of Duty Ghost came out, not even for the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, and people were like, wait a second, I'm running this on the most powerful graphics card on my PC, like the GeForce Titan, the best graphics card currently available, and I cannot get a stable frame rate. Maybe, just maybe, the game sucks itself,
What?
and it's not actually the hardware. And And I know that there's been a lot of talk about that. All I say is go back and look at King Kong for the Xbox 360, and then look at Halo 4 looks pretty good on the Xbox, regardless of gameplay issues. Like, go back and look at those two games. Like, look at the jungle environments for both. And I don't think it's going to be as important. We're very quickly approaching that rapid decline in how much we can do in graphics.
Yeah.
It takes far more work now to get smaller and smaller improvements. I'm less worried about the graphics and more worried about the gameplay. And whichever one has the best games and the most interesting gameplay are the ones that I think that's the one that I'm most interested in.
Precisely.
So I think that about wraps it up. Do we have any last notes? I'm going to take that as a no.
I don't know. I got nothing. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this has been the inaugural Ramblecast. Stay tuned in the future as we discuss things, albeit a little bit more frequently. And
That's true. With a little bit more Steven.
Hopefully more Steven. Always more Steven.
It's like cowbell for us.
Well, yeah, thanks for listening, and have a good morning, evening, or night, depending on what time of day it is for you.
Ramble.